Hello, guys. Good morning and welcome back to this week. So, hopefully, everybody was able to finish their design for their Swift calculator. What I want to do this week, even though we have not learned, so far we've learned, about commands, about what a sequence is. We've learned what a function is. We've learned what loops are. We practiced them on Swift playgrounds. We quickly went through the let, which are constants. We've learned about constants and the let, how to write a let, which is a constant, and how to write a variable, which is var. So what I wanted to do this week, even though we haven't learned about conditions, because the plan was we learn about conditions. Next, coming up, we're going to learn about conditions, how to use them, why they're so important, and how to use them in programming, leading towards creating our calculator. We're still going to do that, but I want to take this class just to create the calculator, just so you guys can get a picture of what it is that the, the process is. So we created the design for Swift. Now we're going to create the calculator software, the program, so that that calculator can function. We're going to do this in the future, but you guys are going to do it on your own individually. Today, I just want you guys to follow along to kind of see, because by seeing, you're going to understand more, and by practicing. So today, we're going to use constants, we're going to use variables. You guys both know what they are. Constants don't change, variables can change. But we're going to use conditions. In order to create a calculator, we have to have conditions, which is what we're going to learn next. But I want you guys to follow along and just create this calculator on Replit. Everybody has a Replit account. So we're going to create the software for Swift for the calculator you guys designed. Um, Again, just follow along the best you can, and everybody should be able to do this and get a better understanding. So remember, you created it with your school account. You go to your school account, and then your school account will take you to Replit, where in Replit, you guys are going to go here to create new Replit, and you're going to choose Swift. Remember, you go down to all the programs here, and we're writing a calculator in Swift. You can write it in basically any program, but they're all going to be a little different on how you write them. So we're creating it in Swift, and here you're going to name it Swift. I don't know. You can name it whatever you want. I'm going to name mine Swift Calculator Program. Okay. And now quickly, I want to go quick because I don't want to make two videos. Hopefully, I can do this in less than 20 minutes. So I'm going to go quick, but you guys just follow along. Again, I'll be saying some things as I go. Some things will make sense, some won't, because we're still learning. But anyhow, practice will help us understand more. So the first thing we're going to do when we open it, we need the calculator to tell us something. How do they tell us something? By print. We remember that print is the way that we write strings, words. So the calculator is going to say welcome. You can write it a little different to calculator Swift app. This is what I decided to write. So welcome to Calculator Swift app, because that's what we created. We created a design for a Swift app. Now it says please enter a number to start this program. Again, you can write it the same way or you can write it differently. Okay, so we have please enter a number to start this program. I'm putting this. You don't have, so write it however you want. You can make your program in Spanish if you want, but I mean, I suggest you can make it in any language, right? Maybe the calculators for Latin America, maybe the calculators for China. You're making a calculator for a phone, so you can write it whatever you want. Next thing, we need to create a constant. So remember, the way we write a constant is let, and I'm going to name my constant A. And now this constant, what it's got to do, it's got to read a line. So this is where it's going to get a little confusing. You're like, what is teacher talking about? Well, this constant's going to read a string. You see that? It's going to read a line. So the constant can't change, right? So this, we're going to see later how it works. So then we're going to, what line is that constant going to read? It's going to read this line called print. Please, capital, please enter another number. So now it's asking me, you asked us to do the first number. Now it's asking you to enter another number. Please enter another number. And now after that, we're going to create another constant, which this constant I'm going to name B. And this constant is going to read another line. So it's again, read line. And now here, we leave it here because it's going to be, it doesn't change what's going to be inside. And now we need to create our variables. We need to create our two variables. So why two variables? Because anytime you use a calculator, you're going to add two numbers, and you're going to either keep adding them. You're going to multiply two numbers. You're going to divide two numbers. So we need two empty variables that we need to name. So the first variable is going to be called var. Instead of writing, oops, going to be the next line. So var, we know how to write a variable, and I'm just going to name it num. Instead of naming it like this number, I'm just going to name it num or n1. I'm just going to name it n1. Make it easier. Remember, it has to make sense, right? So if you see variable number n1, you kind of think, okay, I'm creating a calculator, so he must be talking about a number here. So, and then we need to what do we need to put in that number? An integer, right? And now here's where we're going to see the constant come into play. You see so the constant, the way it's going to be read is a, like that. So you see I'm taking this constant that I created up here, and it's going to be read down here by whatever number I put in. Okay. And now I'm going to create my second variable. And I'm going to name it num makes sense, num2. My second variable is going to be an integer, and it's going to be b. It's going to be this one. B is going to be this one right here. This second, this one. See that? So this constant that goes in here. So now I'm able to create a variable that goes inside this constant. Okay, if that makes sense. And then you're going to go print, please. Now we're going to choose an operation. Choose an operation option. So what are the options we're going to give? We're going to give the user. We're going to give a multiplication, comma, very important. The comma is important. Division, comma, addition, comma, and subtraction. Okay. So if you see here, I have errors. This is error. Why is it the error? Because I'm putting a string, but I'm not putting my little quotation. So I need my quotations at the end. Where's it called? There we go. Okay. So then now it's going to print, please choose an operation. These are the operations: multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. Now, here we're gonna use the another constant. We're going to create another constant. Let the sign that we put in, be read. Read line. The computer already knows. There we go. So yeah, sometimes it gives you the code because it's already understanding what you're trying to do. So read line. And then here's where we have not learned this, but just follow along. And when we learn conditions, it'll make sense. So here, this is everything we've learned right here. So here we created three constants and two variables. Now, if this is a condition now, if this sign here that we choose from here, right, from this constant, if this sign from this constant that we choose, if this sign from this constant that we choose is a multiplication, we have to put the little quotes on there. Okay, oops. Sorry. Okay, so let's put the quotes first. Okay, so if the sign that we choose from is multiplication, if the sign that we choose or we put into this constant is multiplication, right? And then, why is it giving me an error? Hold on, guys. Sorry. Yeah, when it's giving you an error, just erase it and try to do it over. Oh, okay, I see why. So here to write this, we had to put two of these. Okay, so if it's multiplication, then inside of here, I hope you guys can use these. Remember these? So if the sign we choose is multiplication, inside, what's going to happen inside? Inside this condition, print, print, what is it going to print? It's going to say results, results, and the results are going to be, we need to have this. The results are going to be, how are we going to get the results? How are we going to get the results for this multiplication? So the way we're going to get the results is we need for something to happen. We need variable number one. This is how you write it. Variable number one to do what? To multiply against variable number two, right? And oops. We need multiply to variable number two. So again, if the sign in this that we choose is multiplication, print the results. And how are we going to get the results? By multiplying variable number one times variable number two. Okay. Now that is our first condition right here. This is our first condition. Now we're going to write another type of condition that's called or else condition or else. How do you write an or else condition? Well, the way you write it is the following. So, and you keep it connected here, because if that doesn't happen, if they don't choose multiplication, what we're going to do is else if, and these are what we're going to learn this trimestre. We're going to learn about these. So that's what I'm saying. It'll be fun to go through it and see the whole process. And we'll do it again at the end of the year. Okay, so else if this conditions, um, if the sign they choose is instead division, right? If the sign they choose is division, then what's going to happen if they choose it? We're going to print something else. What are we going to print? We're going to print results again, results, and then we're going to put this little dash in Swift. Writing a calculator is a little longer than Python. We just did one in Python with fifth grade, but or else if it's division, print the results. And how are we going to get the results? The same way we got the results for the multiplication. So we're going to take that same variable, because now variables can change, right? Variables can change. So now this variable is going to be used for what? For division. And we take the two variables. And now here, this is how we're going to get the results. So now we wrote our two conditions for, sorry guys, my computer's, okay. So now we have our two conditions for our first two parts. So we have, here we go, one for multiplication, one for division. Now, to make this easier, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to, because we have to write the same, basically the same code again. So if it's division, we have to write the same code. So then now what we would do here is, hold on one second. Okay. Sorry, guys. What I was trying to see is, you see here, I was trying to see, you have to look at what the error is. This usually it gives you a red mark, but this one's not giving me a red mark. But here I see that I forgot the it's a string. When I'm writing, I have to put these quotations. Don't forget the quotations. Okay. So it has to go like this. I'm gonna write this over. Okay, so we need two quotes there, and then we put it back inside. Now we have that. Okay. So then now the next part is going to be the same thing, right? So we need to write another and this same thing down here, but we need to change the operations. So we need to take all this right here and just copy paste it down here. And the only thing we need to do here is change. You see, it's the same one as this one, right? But what do we need to do here? We need to change the operation. So what would this one be? It'll make it easier for us. So this one would be addition. Hope that made sense. And down here, oops, that one stays as division. And this one would be addition, the one that we just made. Okay. And now again, I would take this same code and make one more down here. And this one would be the last one, which is subtraction, right? So we have subtraction here. And then we have, let's see here, subtraction here, subtraction here. And then we have addition here, and we have to change this to addition as well. Okay, so I hope that made sense. Let's just quickly review. So please choose an operation. We have all these operations. So then we have the constant here, and we have the conditions we created. If the result, if they choose multiplication, the result will be this: variable one times variable two. Or else, if they choose the second, it'll be division. Division, variable one divided by variable two. Or else, if they choose the third one, it'll be addition. Variable one plus variable two. If they choose the last one, number four, then it would be variable one minus variable two. And then now we just need here, if they choose something or else, or else. So if they choose something, we can say that's not part of the program. We can always write a message saying print please run this program again and enter a valid a valid operation. So let's say they choose. We have four options they could choose. One, multiplication. Two, division. Three, addition. Four, subtraction. But let's say they choose an operation that's not valid. Let's say they choose a number five or number six or number seven. Then the computer is going to tell them, please, or the computer or the app is going to tell them, please run this program again and enter in a valid operation. Kind of like when we get, error messages from our phones or computers when we do something that, the program doesn't recognize. Okay, fine. And guys, finally at the end, our program is going to say, our calculator app is going to say anything you want it to say. So, I can say, thank you for using the new Swift calculator. Hope you enjoyed. So again, I hope this makes a little bit of sense. The print should definitely make sense. You guys should understand why the print's happening. You guys should hopefully understand what the constant is, and the variables and the print. Now down here, these conditions, again, we have not learned how to use conditions, but we will learn. So I just want you to follow along because it's kind of cool to see the whole process. Now, um, after you guys made your design. So the first thing with any kind of program is always design. Design first. You have the idea, you design it, you make it how it's going to be used or seen by the user, and then either if you're the programmer or if somebody else is the programmer, they create the program for your calculator and they install the software. This is the software in your calculator, in your application for your new iPhone. So here, let's run the program. Hopefully it works here. Welcome to Calculator Swift app. Please enter to start this program. Please enter a number. Enter a number to start this program. So anytime if you see an error, you can go here and change it. So this is giving us this code. Okay, so I want to do, I don't know, 100 plus, well, 100 and 100. Let's see what happens. Now I have 100 and 100. And I want to, what do you want to do with that 100 and 100? Do you want to multiply, divide, add, or subtract? Well, I want to multiply 100 and 100. Enter. Here are your results, 1,000. Thank you for using the new Swift calculator. Hope you enjoyed. So this is what you see in your calculator. This is what's behind your calculator. See, it's always a little more. Code is going to be a little more. And now just really quick, welcome to the Swift calculator. Enter a number, 100 and 200. And now let's say I choose something that's not there. So let's say I choose 5 for some reason. Um, Please see that I didn't choose a valid. Please run this program again and enter a valid operation. So 5 is not one of these valid operations, and that's the mistake that it gives me there. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys can all follow along and do this. And then, if when you're done, very important that you take a screenshot of it, just like this. Here's your screenshot, and you save it and you turn it in Google Classroom under this assignment. Okay, so now we've seen the whole process of designing, creating software for your application for your new Swift app. Thank you guys. Have a great day.